Let's do this. Pulling up into the sky, you shudder as you think about Smyther. He owns 4 legitimate businesses in the Static Lane section of the eastern fringes, but everyone knows these are fronts used to launder money from his prostitution, drug, and illegal firearms operations. Even worse, Smyther fancies himself the boss of an elite-powered mob. All of his business generals form an exclusive club called the Splice Circle. Aside from possessing dangerous powered abilities, the Splice Circle generals all indulge in their splicing poison of choice, whether it be animal human hybridization, hypersteroid usage, or gene-deep cosmetic alteration. Not having time to fiddle with your mead chip for a search while flying, you decide to test a new Thought Command function. The first wave of Thought Command technology has just been released, but it hasn't replaced voice commands entirely yet, since the software is rumored to still be rather buggy. Clearing your mind and focusing on your mead chip, you think, J2, search current Splice Circle roster. Within seconds you get a response from mead chip J2, sorry boo, but you need to upgrade your internet package for that search. There used to be a time when the internet was available for one base price, but ever since the government allowed internet providers to bundle packages for speed and website access during the Greater Depression, you've been operating out of the lowest cost bundle. Actually, your entire mead chip is operating at a similarly low level. The potential functions of the mead chip are endless, if you have the money to pay for the services. Mead chips can do everything from multiple perspective surveillance to acquisition of downloadable skills, but that all requires high-level processing chips and additional fees. Poor J2 could also have dozens of different outfits and personality dimensions if you had more money for upgrades. Welcome to the 22nd century, where class status is determined primarily by tablet functionality, and unfortunately for you, it looks like it's time for an internet upgrade, which is going to cost you. Authorize, upgrade, and execute search, you think, trying to focus the command through the cloud of frustration in your head. It won't be long before they start charging for air per breath, you think. Immediately, several holographic web images flash before your eyes. One is a chart listing the Splice Circle's current roster, another is a review of air humidifiers, and the last is a list of services for anger management. Understanding why many reviewers have bashed the mead chip Thought Command function for acting glitchy, you try to focus on the roster listing. The Splice Circle rumored roster: Boss Smyther, Security General Boulder. Which roster do you want to read next? The Business Generals. Shed Club Madame Vice status, The Rival Bar Kirkpatrick Counselor, Fetish Senden Wanda W, Aces High Casino 3rd Degree. Notes: Kirkpatrick is the latest addition to the circle, brought in to run Smyther's newest establishment, The Rival Bar. Kirkpatrick also serves as Smyther's replacement counselor after the remains of Smyther's last counselor are found split between Westport and Valor Park. Madame Vice and Smyther have recently ended their multi-year affair on a sour note, causing many to wonder how long Vice will hold her position within the club. I suppose I'll take a screenshot of that. Do you want to read about the crime generals too? I do want to get there as fast as possible. So, no. Satisfied with your knowledge of the Splice Circle, you prepare to take off towards Static Lane until you notice a bright flash coming from one of the surrounding rooftops. Focusing on the source, you see it's a reporter, obviously working overtime to break the first scoop on this story. You really need to find two Smyther quickly, but getting your name in the press could be a major plus. You promised yourself you'd focus on achieving fame, so you really don't have much of a choice to make. I'll always have time for the press. You fly down onto the roof, and the reporter's eyeballs flash bright, white light upon your arrival. It appears she has some kind of optic photographic power. The residual twinkling in your eyes catches on the dozens of gold bracelets lining the reporter's wrist. She's a short Indian woman with 2 thick braids of hair tied into a bun, wearing shade upon indiscernible shade of black. She doesn't smile. Damn police found a way to block my observancy knack, she says, her eyes twitching back and forth, no doubt taking mental notes. I saw you fly out of there. What's going on? You stare at the reporter. She's talking so fast her words blur together. Perhaps I should do that then. It's nice to meet you too, you say with a smile. I'm the Ineffable, and I just cracked the Rexford Schiller's Gravitas case. The reporter shows a momentary burst of excitement, but does a good job of covering it quickly. You look her over. She doesn't have a press pass, and she's spying from afar, which means she must be a newbie. Good. Better to give the scoop to someone just as hungry for success as you. So what can you tell me? The reporter asks, still not quite looking at you as her liquid brown eyes tick back and forth. Depends, you say. What are you going to do with it? 5 minutes later. You fly back into the sky, having given Sonya, a freelance blog reporter, as you learned, the rundown of your evening. Literally writing the article as you spoke, she promised she'd send it to her contact at Hero Press Blog as soon as she was done. It's a good thing I didn't take the time to look up those criminal generals because I had to make time to fucking meet with the press. She promised she'd send it to her contact at Hero Press Blog as soon as she was done. As you soar up into the clouds, you send your meadship a thought command to set a search alert for any mentions of your heroic personage. You'll definitely want to archive the first official press-related legend boost of your career. Legend prize unlocked. As a bonus for achieving one of the highest possible legend levels at this point, 9, your health level has been restored and raised to 110. Good work. Yeah! Yeah! Fucking yeah! Awesome! Wow. Well, shit, maybe that means I can go crazy with, maybe legend prizes will include power too, which maybe I can splurge and go crazy on the power. I need a notepad. I need to write this down if I do like a future playthrough. Chapter 3. Health level restore raised to 110. Legend level 9, I guess. Here, the Prodigy notes. Don't you tell me colons are invalid. Good work, hero. Yes. So healthy. Look at how much health I have. It's amazing. I'm so fucking famous. You take off high across the sky at top speed, knowing you need to get to Static Lane before the police do, or before another hero encroaching on your case does. As you fly, you consider how any powered heroes stupid enough to take on the Splice Circle in the past have always ended up dead. The only notable exception has been Static, the self-proclaimed champion of the Eastern Fringes, named after the Fringe's most crime-clogged neighborhood, Static Lane. While most heroes concentrate on more glamorous and less dangerous heroing outside of the Fringes, Static has done good work cleaning up some of the Splice Circle's mess. However, no one has seen Static in months, a troubling mystery that has gone unsolved. Worst of all... Oh, didn't know that. It's a good thing I didn't pick him as a hero. Or her. Worst of all, Smyther and the Splice Circle were responsible for funding the rival anti-gang activities in the Fringes, using the gangs as a recruitment base to pipeline employees into the various branches of the organization. The anti-gangs are constantly vying for top billing with the Circle, and a gang war has been brewing for months, as evidenced by the fight you broke up earlier today. Without a doubt, Smyther is responsible for making life in the Eastern Fringes highly hazardous. Knowing that he is involved with the Gravitas theft hits close to home, but you want to take on this case mostly because it will serve as a blow to the Splice Circle's criminal practices and further disorganized anti-gang activity in the Fringes. Being the hero that takes down Smyther will make me famous. More than anything, it's just going to be fun. Being the hero that takes down Smyther will make me famous. Smyther has remained untouchable thanks to a team of high-priced lawyers and some corrupt contacts within the MC government, so catching him with the Gravitas could be a rare, illegal thread capable of unraveling the entire Splice Circle organization. No one has ever been able to put a dent in their operations, so if you're the first to do so, your career will be made instantly. However, as you begin to breathe a bit heavier from the exertion of flying so fast, you think about how advanced this case could prove to be. Smyther is no joke. He and his crew will kill you in 1,000 different ways without hesitation. Perhaps this might be a bit more than you can handle on your first night out. Then you remind yourself that you were born for major league cases like this. Moving forward, no matter how successful you become, this kind of fear and doubt are going to be a part of your career at every level. In fact, the pressure to stay afloat is only going to get worse, so you'd better learn to cope with it now. Alright? After a super fast flight back to the Fringes, you land on a roof across the street from Smyther's club, Shed. Your favorite hero tip-off blog, Just the Tip, says it's rumored that Smyther has his secret base of operations hidden somewhere in Shed, since he was once romantically linked to Madame Vice, Shed's owner. Madame Vice has the power to seduce people into doing her bidding. And you've also read that ever since being unceremoniously dumped by Smyther, she might have aspirations to take over his head honcho role. While this is a tidbit you may be able to use to your advantage if things get nasty inside, right now you need to discover the location of Smyther's hidden headquarters within Shed. What's the fastest way to do so? The fastest way? Well, I mean, I'm also gonna equate that with success, and for that, I think breaking into the back and searching the premises without being seen fits my vigilantism and my lack of regard for the law. I don't think I want to burst in powers blazing and demand to see him. That just sounds stupid. Yeah, that sounds like a fast way to discover the location and then die. Let's break into the back and search the premises without being seen. You drop down into the alley behind Shed and walk up to the back door. Using an energy crackle to pop open the lock, you slip inside and find yourself in a darkened room. As your eyes adjust, you spot a deep red light coming from somewhere across the room. You look at the light, and suddenly one step follows another. Fuzz. Feels nice. Moving. Back, back, back. There stands Madame Vice. So pretty, you think. So pretty, with the blood-red eyes. "Tell me, rude thing," she says, her voice oozing, "what on earth brings you to my dark corner of the world?" You want to tell her everything. Her with her flowing auburn hair, wrapped in that tight red leather, her body impossibly curved with plastic enhancements, her perfect chest spilling out of that corset, her full lips wet. You want her to trust you more than anything. You want to touch. You want to tell. She's so pretty. Just tell. "I'm here to..." But as the words leave your lips, one thought breaks through the rest. Madame Vice has hypno-seduction powers, which must be why you can't seem to think straight. As you feel the slightest bit of control creep back, you decide that you'd better not waste the opportunity. How are you going to handle her? Attack her while I have the chance. See here. How long Vice will hold her position within the circle? Perhaps she'll choose to save herself if I do. Hopefully I can attack her, like destabilize the situation, and maybe not be mind control. That'd be pretty cool if I could avoid that. Tip her off about the police. Choose to save. I don't. I mean, maybe I can like work with her to like overthrow Smyther. I don't know. Let's just use our power. With all your willpower, you raise your hands to blast Madame Vice point blank. You fire off a shot, and the guilt threatens to overwhelm you. As Madame Vice dodges your blast and breaks her concentration, you immediately feel your senses return to normal. But before you can totally regain your bearings, Madame Vice pulls out a long whip and lashes you with it. The whip must be charged with some kind of electric current because a shock sends you reeling across the room. You hit the ground hard. Making sure to keep your eyes closed, since you don't need Madame Vice hypno-seducing you again, you let out a quick energy pulse, hoping that will do the trick. When you open your eyes, you see Madame Vice sprawled across the floor, unconscious. You experience an intense rush of sadness, but push the emotions from your brain, knowing it's just the after effects of Madame Vice powers. You stand and walk over to her, seeing that there's something attached to the end of her whip. Curious, you reach down and grab it. You examine the gold tip of the whip and can't believe your eyes. The gold mechanism is a telelock, a wildly expensive and wildly illegal security measure that grants teleportation entrance into doorless rooms. The only way into Smyther's secret headquarters must be through one of these telelocks, which you imagine only his splice generals carry. Since telelocks take the form of tokens unique to each owner and only respond to their brainwaves, it's useless to you without Madame Vice, though there is one trick you might try. Before you can give it a shot, you feel a tap on your shoulder. Alright. You raise your fist and spin around, freezing the moment you do. You instantly recognize the face smirking back at you. It belongs to Jury, another aspiring hero. He stands with his arms crossed, the wind from the open door flaring his black and white costume, which was made to look like a sleeker version of Judge's robes. Which makes total sense, because Jury's real name is Aaron Victon. He's the son of Judge Victon, who is now better known as the long-standing mayor of Millennia City. and the man who sentenced your parents to their lifelong prison exile. Jury has the power to see through the eyes of any 12 nearby people at once, hence the code name. He's become a C-list hero thanks mostly to his father's position. Anything Jury has gotten, he has bullied or bribed out of people thanks to his last name. Or charmed them with his good looks and social status. If you'd had the advantages Jury had, you'd already be MC's #1 hero and you know it. You really are inclined to hate Jury for just about every reason under the sun, but you have to be careful not to give away your real identity. The last thing you want is for the victim family to know the connection between the ineffable, Sterling, and Reaper identities. Well, you're new, aren't you? Jury says, looking you over from head to toe like a piece of meat. What's your name, stud? Your skin crawls under Jury's gaze, and you force yourself not to consider what's running through his mind. Jury is a conventionally attractive blonde guy, so you're sure he does quite well for himself, and obviously Jury likes what he sees. But you're definitely not into guys, and even if you were, you wouldn't touch Jury with a 10-foot pole. Still, he doesn't necessarily have to know that. How do you want to play this? Jury doesn't deserve to occupy even 1 second of my time. I mean, I could flirt with him or treat Jury like the scum he really is, but no, doesn't deserve it. I've got to go, you practically growl, walking toward the exit. Yeah, about that, Jury says, blocking your path. You're cute and all, but you don't know how things work yet. I just got a call from Rexford Chillers himself. The police told him they have a lead on his missing gravitas. He's a dear friend of my father's. You do know who Mayor Victor is. Mayor Victon is, don't you? Jury gets closer to you. Way closer than you'd like. His breath smells like stale beer, and you're pretty sure you can make out the beginnings of a cold sore on his lower lip. Tell me what you know now, and I'll see it as a serious favor, and I'm the kind of guy you want to owe you if you get my drift. Jury puts his hand on your hip, and you pull away, trying desperately to keep your cool. And if I don't? You ask through clenched teeth. Jury's slick smile fades. Then let's just say that having the Mayor of Millennia City as an enemy isn't a really great thing for any aspiring hero, is it? There's no way in hell you're backing down from this case, no matter what Jury threatens you with. Still, you do need to find a way to get him off of your tail. He could cause some serious trouble for you if he gets the gravitas first. How do you want to deal with him? I'm not gonna fuck around here. This guy's pissing me off. I did lose a bit of power and health, it seems. Well, power because I chose to fight the madam here. Nah, let's just incapacitate him with energy barrage. Without wasting a second, you emit a fierce energy pulse. The shockwave takes Jury by surprise, lighting his body up with purple energy. Jury will definitely want to pay you back for this, but as you look at him lying helplessly on the floor, you know it was totally worth it. It won't be long before Jury wakes up, so you turn your attention back to the telelock and you're one shot at accessing it. Sometimes, if you channel your energy power through electronics in just the right amount, it can jumpstart their functions. However, too much power fries electronics, a talent that comes in handy for some situations, but not this one. Figuring it's worth a shot, you grasp the golden tip at the end of the whip and close your eyes. You allow a small wisp of energy to flow from your fingertips through the telelock, hoping this will coax it into cooperating. Then, out of nowhere, you feel a massive surge build in your forearms. No! You shout out loud, unable to stop a wave of purple energy from bursting through your hands. When the light from your blast clears... Oh, shit. I just read ahead there. When the light from your blast clears, you can see the charred remains of the whip in your hand, and the golden telelock is completely shorted out. Despite years of training, your powers can sometimes act unpredictably, though this was a rather inopportune time for a surge to flare up. What are you going to do now? Before you can even finish forming that thought, you feel your insides turn fluid. The room swirls around you and you stagger backward. Then, you scream. Next chapter, Prodigies. Well, that was certainly a thing, wasn't it?